Hi, I'm Daniel. I'm an amateur jack of all trades kind of athlete. I swim, I bike, I run, I do triathlon, I do bike races and all sorts. I've been active in sport for around 10 years now, and for many reasons 2023 was my best year yet. Some of those reasons are that physically I performed the best I ever have. I finished Challenge Roth, which is an Ironman distance triathlon, in under 10 hours. I finished the Outlaw Half Nottingham, which is a 70.3 or middle distance triathlon, in under 4.5 hours. I won a bike race, but above all, I had an absolutely brilliant year, enjoying sport, doing lots of things with my girlfriend Liz behind the camera, and all round had a cracking year. As well as those sport things, this channel actually grew by around 40% last year, which was absolutely brilliant. I'm so grateful to you guys and girls for watching these videos. So at the end of 2023, I gave my body a couple of weeks of good rest, aiming to restart to have an even better 2024, and I was rewarded with the worst training winter I've ever had. I've had injury after injury, and that brings me to the present day. To keep this in a nutshell, I had a hip flexor injury, which is now sorted. I had a knee tendon issue, which is 90% sorted, and very recently I've had a scaphoid fracture, which is nowhere near sorted. I've only just done this one, so I have a little while to be fully recovered for this. The effects of those injuries are that I've put on around 14 kilos in body weight through just not training for months and months. I've obviously lost a lot of fitness, and above all, I just don't feel like the person that I was last year. I'm definitely not the athlete that I was, but I also don't feel as happy and cheery myself, because I do see those things as going hand in hand. So this right here, right now, is where all of that changes. Today, right from this second, I'm going to be taking meaningful, purposeful action towards me getting back to where I was, or at the very least just being happier and healthier and happy with where I am as an athlete. I'm just checking the dates. In roughly 5 months, I'm going to be taking to the start line of an Ironman distance triathlon, a full distance triathlon. Now, I'm determined to be in as good shape as I can be then. I might not be in my peak ever physical shape, but I need to be healthy, I need to be happy, and I need to have done some amount of training to be able to get around this thing, because it is not an easy one. There's time for me to pull this round, but there's no time for complacency. So I have employed the most expensive camera lady I've ever employed, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to episode 1 of the series, which I'm titling Injury to Ironman, a weekly video series in which I'm going to share with you the highs, the lows, everything going on with my injury recovery to training to life. I'm going to try and capture it in a nutshell and share with you guys and girls, so that it can hopefully be of some motivation, or if not, just some entertainment for you. But above all, it's really going to hold me accountable to this journey. I'm going to be pressured to do as well as I can, and I'm eternally grateful for that. So let's get started with episode 1. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it adds to your motivation to whatever goals you're working towards. Let's go. You're supposed to roll the camera up there, and Chris does that when I go like that, and you flip the camera up. That was intense, wasn't it? I just going to sit down. Okay then, so I am now a few days on from recording that clip. Now, the early part of this series is mostly going to be focused on what is going off with my wrist, how am I getting injury free to be able to get in a position to do some significant amount of training, which is hopefully going to take me to Ironman. Now, later on, sure, I hope to be doing, check out this big session and all of that, but for the time being, I'm going to focus on this. So today, I'm going to the fracture clinic. I have an appointment to have my wrist re-x-rayed. I have a meeting with a consultant to talk me through how the fracture has progressed, whether any healing's been made or not. They're also going to confirm whether it will need operating on and a screw putting in it or not. I really hope that isn't the case, but I have spoken to a couple of people, and people have said it is better to get it screwed, because then it's going to, or a lot stronger chance of it healing and union and whatever else. But I'm going to take the advice of the specialist, obviously, because I don't really know what I'm doing. The one thing I've learned throughout this sort of thing is when I went to A&E so today is the 27th of March, I went to A&E on the 16th of March, and I believe I injured this on the 22nd of February. So I'm now a month on from when I believe I did this, but I'm a week and a half on from my visit to A&E. I left A&E having had the x-ray and told, yeah, you fractured it, here's a back slab and you'll get a letter in a couple of weeks. I left there thinking, I wish I'd asked loads more questions about bone recovery and about what I can and can't do and all of those things. So I'm not going to make that mistake today. I have sat down and made a load of questions on a piece of paper, so that when you get in there and it's like a bit overwhelming, or perhaps you're not, like if you don't like hospitals, you're not thinking straight, those sorts of things. So I'm going to make sure that I take that and I ask all my questions and I actually make notes as the person's telling me the answers, so that I don't just let it go in one ear and out the other. Try and absorb it so I can really understand this. I feel like I have to become an expert in scaphoid fractures now, because otherwise how am I going to get over this? So I'm just trying to, sure, Googling and YouTube and everything else is great, but seeing a specialist who's looking at you is the best thing you can do. So I'm going to make the most use of that and see how we go. And shout out to Liz for taking half a day of work to drive me there. Now I know beggars can't be choosers, so I won't moan, but Liz has quick diversion on the way to the hospital to do what, Liz?
Just post this parcel.
Businesswoman, aren't you?
Vinted, business, yeah.
100% profit margin on that one, because it's one of my old wetsuits. So actually, that person's actually got a great buy who's bought that. Pretty cheap for what it is. It was one of my Zone 3 wetsuits from last year. And I was planning to give it away, but they didn't pay me the £100 they said they were going to pay me last year, so I had to recoup some costs somehow. Hey Liz.
Yeah?
What are you going to do then? Transfer that straight to me?
It's mine. What I sell is mine.
Well done. Right, let's get there. Car park absolutely rammed. I'm going to leave you, Liz, here. Just walk in and you'll have to let me know where you've parked. I'm also creating a compilation of the outfits you're wearing whilst you're ferrying me around everywhere. Swimming last week was what?
I had a turban on, a Macau hoodie thing.
Like a Highland cow onesie sort of thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, I like today's little activewear outfit.
Well, I'm going running.
You're going running, aren't you?
Park this bloody car.
Okay, I'm going to go in. See you on the other side.
See ya.
Okay, I am out, I'm home. Now, I don't deal very well with hospital doctor environments in terms of I feel very ill whenever I go into those, so it's taken me a little bit of time to get over that. However, I am now back home, and let me show you, we just about avoided amputation. I've had a big change in what I thought the next few weeks were going to look like, and to be honest, it's very positive, so I'm going to talk you through it, but it is fresh information to me. I have a wrist brace on, not a cast. There's just like a bandage underneath it, just stops skin chafing and so on, just like obviously a little bit of aluminium or something inside of it, so it's a proper like brace, you can't move your wrist. So I went and had an x-ray. I firstly had an x-ray with my back slab on, like that temporary cast thing, and then after doing them they said, oh, I think we should do them without the back slab thing on. Like, okay, I don't really know how x-ray works, but you know, fine. I need to go back to the other side of the hospital, to not the other side, across the corridor, to have it cut off, and I was like, well, I can just take this off, don't worry about it. Oh no, you're not allowed to. Well, I'd done it too fast, it was off. I was feeling sick, I didn't want to be in there any longer than I absolutely had to be, so then they did the x-rays without the cast on. Then you go back round to the consultant to talk about their results, and what the gentleman actually said is that he doesn't think it's my scaphoid, he thinks it's my radius. Now, when I went to A&E a week and a half ago, I was shown the x-ray and pointed at the fracture. And I said the same thing to him, and he said, I've seen that x-ray, and yeah, I could see there might be something there, but the thing is, when you look at an x-ray close enough, you find all sorts. So he said, I'm not that convinced that it is a scaphoid fracture, and because they weren't x-raying your radius, you can't really see that very well. So we don't know. But now, the images they took today, he did have a good sight of my radius as well. And again, he said he can't be sure that there's a fracture there. So what he said is that given the period of time that's passed, so it's been 5 weeks since I think when I did this in the pool. Because it's been 5 weeks, it's likely that there's been, if it's not a displaced fracture, which it isn't, there's been a significant amount of healing. When I first did it, I bought my own splint and wore that initially, so that was good rehab for it. And then since then I had this back slab thing on, so he's like, I don't see any point in putting you in a cast now because you've already had 5 weeks of recovery and it clearly has recovered, or made some significant recovery. What we can't turn away from though is that when he presses it, it hurts. When I move my wrist, it hurts, and it's not just like, oh, there's a slight ache there. It's like that is a sharp shooting pain, but it's on my radius when he presses it, not my scaphoid. Whereas perhaps maybe a couple of weeks ago it was too like inflamed, it just hurt everywhere. So change in diagnosis, I think it's my radius, not my scaphoid, but he's not really 100% sure on that. He does think that there'll be a fracture in somewhere in those, but he doesn't think that how I described the injury in that I clashed hands with somebody would have been scaphoid, it'd be more likely to be radius. So in any case, this is what I've got. Now, what can I do, what can't I do? I can actually do quite a lot. Now, he said listen to when it hurts, obviously don't do things that really hurt, but live your life normally just with this on, other than I can't drive for insurance reasons. It says I can't drive. If I've issued you this, you have a broken bone, you can't drive car insurance wise. Okay, not the end of the world, but annoying. So I went through my list, rehab, etc. Move my hand around as lots and use my arm as normal. Can I cycle indoors? Yes. Can I ride outdoors? Yes. Can I swim? Yes. Can I run? Yes. So I'm not going to go full steam ahead, but that's just such a relief to me to be able to do those things. In a week or two, I'm going to Mallorca for a week with Liz, and it was looking like I was going to have a week sat by the pool. Now, I'm not going to go mad in terms of what I'm doing, and what I'm actually think I'm going to do is take the gravel bike, because it's got hydraulic disc brakes, so I can use my right hand more and it'll actually stop. But anyway, so happy to have gone there and be told, yes, this has made progress, not, oh, you're going to need, weeks and weeks and months of rehab. So I'm just trying to think now, okay, is the rest of my body ready to start training again before ploughing into it? So that is it. I'm going to go on the internet and order 2 or 3 more of these and some more of this wrap stuff, so that I can just train and get sweaty and bin the wrap stuff and wash and swap the wrist braces and things, just so that I'm not using one. It makes no sense for me to use one for the next couple of weeks, does it? So a couple of weeks back and he said he might not even take another x-ray at the next appointment, just see how it's improved, do a little bit of physio work on my hand and see what it's like then. So wrist, see what it's like then. So very, very positive. And if I'm honest, this has changed my opinion on what to do with this video series, because I was thinking, well, I'm going to have 6 to 10 weeks of not doing much, but now I am going to be doing stuff. So I don't really know. Either way, there'll be videos on this channel about me doing swim, bike and run and getting fit and whatever else. So hope you enjoy. Thank you. I'm going to end today's episode there. This is purely just based around this. And I'll continue the story tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Thank you very much for watching. Hit like and subscribe and all that jazz, and I'll see you very soon. If you've got any questions as well, let me know down below.